Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. In this video, I want to talk about this adjustable hitch I recently purchased. I'll go over my thoughts and opinions on it after using it for about 6 months. And I'll get into why you might want to consider a hitch like this or maybe a different style or manufacturer. And then also if an adjustable hitch is a good idea or maybe you want to stay with sort of a fixed hitch like this one you see here. So let me start off by saying that I've wanted one of these for a while, not particular Gen Y, but an adjustable hitch. And I just really never could justify it because I have so many fixed drawbars like the one you see here that fit just about every truck and trailer I own. So it's hard to justify the extra cost on something I really don't need. But about 6 months ago, I bought a different trailer, and that trailer dealer was also a Gen Y dealer and offered me about a $50 discount on this hitch, which you see here. So that made it a lot easier to swallow. So I paid about $225 for this hitch. I think at the time they retail for about $275, if I'm not mistaken. This is a GH524 model. It has a 2-inch solid steel shank, has 7.5 inches of overall drop, or you can flip it over and use it in a rise. And it comes with a 2 5/16 and a 2-inch ball. Also a pintle lock, 2 pins, and 2 hitch clip pins. So this is all steel unit. Has a 2,000 pound tongue weight capacity, 16,000 pound overall trailer weight capacity. And one thing to note is that 16,000 pound capacity is with the 2 5/16 ball, which is stamped right on the ball itself. If you're using the 2-inch, I believe it's 12. Again, it's stamped right on it. So just bear that in mind when you're using something like this to make sure you're staying within your manufacturer weight tolerances. So this is, as I mentioned, all steel. It's heavy. It's about 45 pounds. It has a nice powder coat finish on it. I'm not sure if this is powder coat or paint. I don't know. Either way, both of them, they're good finish. But both of them, it's obviously metal on metal. You're going to get wear. You can see wear on the shank itself. And then inside the hitch, you know, that's pretty standard. If it's steel and metal, you're going to wear the finish away at some point. This has a nice hole drilled through it here. That's for an additional ball. Being you have a 2 5/16, you could go ahead and bolt an 1 7/8 ball through there and use it as sort of a tri-ball configuration. And then it is cross drilled through the shank, so you can put it in the hitch either way and pin it in. The pintle lock that comes with it simply pins right above the hitch itself, just like I have it positioned there, and it creates a nice screw for that pintle ring to ride in. Now this is, you see the ring here, manufactured on the 2 5/16 side, so just make note of that while you're using it. The pins, as I mentioned, I believe they're stainless steel. They're a nicely machined pin, good quality pin. And then the clips, hitch clips, have a captured side on them, so they're sort of a locking side. You can push these in 90 degrees, turn them, and then that captured side goes right around that pin. It's a little nicer than the old standard hitch clip pin, which will fatigue over time and kind of open up as this one does, or is here. Using this thing for about 6 months so far, I do like it. I like it a lot. I'm happy I bought it. It's pretty much the only hitch I use now. I got usually 2 different trucks I tow with and a couple different trailers, and this is pretty much the only hitch I use. It's versatile. It's you know, it's well made. It's a quality unit, and I am happy I bought it. Couple things to consider. One is weight, right? So this unit, as I mentioned, it's solid steel. It weighs 45 pounds. There's actually 2 things. So that being steel, I do live in the salt belt. We get snow. Obviously, they use road salt. A lot of guys will leave these in their trucks, and you know, after a couple of years, they get pretty rough looking, pretty beat up. I take mine out. I don't leave it in my truck when I'm done with it. I just pull it out. I don't want to risk, you know, pay good money for something like this. I hate to just leave it in there and let it get eaten up by rust. And then the other thing that kind of concerns me is theft, you know. And I know you can get locking pins, but when I'm done, I just take it out. So that's just my personal preference with it. But one other thing to consider is essentially what this is doing is it's taking your truck receiver and putting it all out here in adjustable options. Okay, so from this closest pinhole right here to the center of the ball is 12 inches. So this basically pushes the trailer away from your truck by about 4 inches from a standard fixed drawbar. Generally, that might vary a little bit, but so it's pushing that trailer away a little bit. That could be good or bad, right? Obviously, you have weight here. This is acting as a lever between your trailer and your truck. You don't want to get that distance too great. Is an extra couple inches going to matter? Personally, I don't think so. I'm not an engineer. I can't really specifically say. Obviously, Gen Y has significant money into this product. I'm sure they looked at that. I'm sure it's not really a concern if you're using the hitch within the intended weight capacities listed on the hitch. But that is something to consider. There's a couple of reasons why. One is just obviously the weight, pushing the weight out. The other thing is your chains are still attaching at the same point on your truck. So if you're pushing that trailer away, you might need a longer chain. I X my chains, and that X ends up basically right underneath the bottom of the hitch. I've had one trailer already where the chains have been a little too short. So something to keep in mind. Now, one advantage of pushing a trailer away from your truck or van or whatever you're using is that, let's say you got a trailer tongue jack on your trailer and you might want to open your tailgate. Maybe a couple extra inches will allow you to now open your tailgate, or maybe your lift gate on your van, whatever, or Suburban or whatever you're using. So that's a consideration as well. Now, being steel, as I mentioned, in where I live, and the weight, if that's a consideration for you, there are other manufacturers that make aluminum offerings. I don't know if their capacity will get near what a steel is in a 2-inch shank. However, that being said, there's not a lot of trucks or towing vehicles that have a rating which might exceed this hitch in a 2-inch version. So, but if you go aluminum, obviously it's significantly more resistant to corrosion, and it'll be quite a bit lighter. Now, would you ever want to stay with a fixed drawbar? Maybe. There are reasons why you might want to. One is this setup is fairly reasonable priced, right? This is a solid 2-inch forged 4-inch drawbar with a 2 5/16 ball bolted through. I've probably got $55-$60 in this whole setup. Now, this is still fairly heavy, a lot lighter than this. And if you got maybe one truck, one trailer you're using, this might be all you need. The tag's more off of this thing. I don't remember what it was. I believe it's right around 12,000 pounds though. So that's that's a pretty good weight rating, and pretty decent, reasonable price. And away you go. You got to make sure too that you're matching. You want to take a look at your vehicle, your manufacturer recommendation on towing. You want to match your drawbar and your ball, which will have a different weight rating stamped on it, to what you're towing. You want to make sure you're all within spec. So the length from center of the pinhole to the center of the ball on this particular drawbar is 8 inches. So that's about 4 inches less than what you're getting here with this Gen Y. Now, that would pull your trailer closer. Maybe you got a shorter safety chain. Maybe there's not a clearance issue with your jack. So on and so forth. So something to consider if you're standing, if you're using the same vehicle and towing the same trailer, this might be all you need, and why spend the extra expense on something you might not need? That's up to you, entirely up to you. Just my thoughts and opinions. So that being said, I do really like that Gen Y. It is nice. Some guys do, they might lease their trucks and go through them every couple of years. This would allow you to, or maybe you get a different travel trailer or something you're towing. This would allow you to stay with the same receiver and go multiple vehicles, multiple trailers. So something to consider. So thanks for watching, guys. I will make mention in upcoming videos, I will discuss that trailer I purchased, and I'll go over some of the things I really like about it and some of the things I didn't like so much about my old one and the reasons why I sold it. And it's a pretty cool trailer, pretty excited about it, very happy with it so far. So we'll go over that. Another thing is it's fall and it's getting into wood season. I heat my house with wood, so I'm going to make a few videos on kind of my setup. I've been, over the years, trying to make things a little easier for myself, to make it a little more smoother and a little easier to, you know, get it from tree into the furnace. So I'll go over some of my setup. I built a log splitter a couple years ago. I'll go over that. I'll probably do 2 videos on that. Maybe I'll do like a slideshow of the build, and then I'll do another video of it as it sits right now. So stay tuned for more, guys. Thanks for watching.